So sometimes when I go through my comments, I see some comments that are like, I use Arch by the way, and I use Arch by the way. So I just want to talk about Arch Linux today, and why installing Arch or using Arch Linux does not make you a professional tech user or anything. So anyone can install Arch these days because of Arch install. If I just search that up, any noob can run this command. Just imagine this is the Arch Linux installer. I can type this command in and it will give me like an interactive installer. So anyone can install Arch Linux. But there are people who install Arch Linux and they claim to be better than any other Linux user out there, which sometimes that can be the truth. They might be really professional in Linux, but I just hate when people install Arch and they call themselves a professional pro or better than other users. I just hate this. This is like the Arch Linux community being toxic, or maybe it's a joke. The I use Arch by the way is definitely a joke. There are people who don't even use Arch who still say this. They like install Manjaro and say I use Arch by the way. They install Endeavor OS, I use Arch by the way. So installing Arch does not make you a pro at all. So I'm using Arco Linux, and I'm probably more professional than you know. I don't use Arch Linux does not mean I am like a noob or anything like that. You might be using Arch Linux does not make you a professional. There are professional people who use Arch Linux. There are people who use any operating system. So for example, Chris Titus, he uses Debian as his main distro, and he also uses Arch, and he's a professional. Just because he uses Debian doesn't mean he's a noob or anything. And the same goes for any sort of distro you're using. So sure, you're getting started with Linux, you might be using like Linux Mint or Ubuntu, that's alright. But when you're using Arch Linux with whatever way you installed it, that still does not make you a pro, and I hope you all understand this.